What's good, everyone? It's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. And for today's video, we are going to take a look at the performance review of the Air Jordan 37 Low. Alright, so starting off with the traction pattern on the Air Jordan 37 Lows, you do have that multi-directional kind of zigzag traction pattern. The rubber compound on these is solid and it is very firm, so I do think that you could bring these outdoors. I think it's a viable option. I'm not sure if I'd want to pay that retail price of like $180 to bring these outdoors, but how these perform on court. On clean courts, you're going to have no issues. On dirty floors, they do pick up some dust, so you will have to wipe every 4 or 5 plays to kind of prevent your foot from slipping out just a little bit. But on clean floors, on hard lateral cuts or any forward motions, this traction pattern here will have you covered. I do think it's a great setup and I'm very happy with it, and I do think this is, like I said, a viable option outdoors. I have played about 10 hours in these so far and they're performing great, and there's really no wear on these at all. So as far as the traction pattern goes on the Air Jordan 37 Lows, I would have to give them a fantastic 8.5 out of 10. It's the exact same setup as your regular Air Jordan 37s. So as far as the cushioning setup in the Air Jordan 37 Lows, it's the exact same as a standard Air Jordan 37. So you do have that Phylon foam that does wrap around the shoe here at the forefoot on the lateral side and the medial side right up until this point here. Here it is that Formula 23 heel puck. It is their new foam. Basically, it's a little bit of a springier foam compared to Phylon, but the only issue here in the 37s is it is fully caged, which I'm not a huge fan of. It does take some time to break in, and once it breaks in, it does offer some pretty decent impact protection at the back of the shoe. But where all the magic happens as far as the cushioning with this shoe is in the forefoot, because you do have an extra large Zoom strollable bag here in the forefoot, and then another one directly under your forefoot. So this is double stack Zoom here in the forefoot. I will try and throw up a photo of the setup that's under your foot, or under your insole, sorry. How it performs on court, it's very springy. You've got some pretty good impact protection up front and some pretty decent court feel as well. The heel to toe transition in this isn't bad once it's broken in, but it does start out a little clunky because of this TPU heel wrap here at the heel for that Formula 23. But overall, it's not a setup that I'm too mad about. I still wish it was full length Zoom, but that really large bag in the forefoot is exactly the same as what is in the Kyrie Infinities. So if you've played in those, it's the same here. It's just double stacked in the forefoot. So as far as the overall cushion setup on the Air Jordan 37 Lows, I would have to give it a pretty awesome 9 out of 10. As far as the materials go on the Air Jordan 37 Lows, you do have some different materials. You do have this nubuck material here that wraps around the ankle collar, and then here at the back of the shoe as well. And this heel pull tab is almost kind of like a checkerboard carbon fiber print. It's very similar looking, at least, but it's just a standard kind of fabric, but it's pretty cool looking. And then working your way down from that, you do have some fuse rands here that kind of wrap up to the eyelets, and then here in the forefoot, and then some more fuse rands here at the toe box for some extra durability and support. It is kind of a synthetic leather. And then running up the middle of the toe box all the way up the tongue, you do have this neoprene material. On foot, it's very comfortable, and then it's very breathable. In the tongue area, you have all those perforations. And then you do have some leno weave here. You can see it is see-through here at the midfoot on the lateral and on the medial side. And then right here at the toe box, you have some more leno weave material, but it is kind of glued down. And I think that's just for some extra support on those hard lateral cuts. So I'm not too mad at that. It's a different use as far as leno weave goes, but the overall material setup I'm not mad at. I actually enjoy it. The problem is the fit with the shoe, but we'll get to that in a second. As far as the materials go, you also have kind of this synthetic suede portion here at the top of the tongue. As far as the materials go on the Air Jordan 37 Lows, they are different than the regular Air Jordan 37s, but I'm actually enjoying this setup here on the low top. So as far as the materials go, I'm gonna have to give these a 7.5 out of 10. So as far as the weight goes on the Air Jordan 37 lows, like I mentioned, this is a size 10.5, and these do come in at 14.6 ounces for a size 10.5. So a little bit on the heavier side for a low top basketball shoe, but once you have these on foot, they're not overly noticeable as far as the weight goes. So again, 14.6 ounces for a size 10.5 in the Air Jordan 37 lows. So as far as the fit goes on the Air Jordan 37 lows, this is where it differs from the regular Air Jordan 37s. I ordered these online in my standard 10.5, and my toe is butting up right against the edge of the shoe, and it's really narrow as well. Right here, I had a ton of pain, especially with my big toe right here. I just had so many issues as far as the fit goes on the low tops, and it really never went away. I played about 10 hours in these, and even in pickup games, I was having some issues with the toe box, just it being too narrow, and I was swapping over to the standard Air Jordan 37s. So as far as the fit goes, I would say go up half a size right from the get-go. And if you're a wide footer, possibly go up a full size. But I will just mention, I would try these on in store if you can, because the fit isn't sloppy. It's very much a 1-to-1 fit, but it's just overly narrow for my foot, and I don't have a wide foot. So it's a little bit annoying. And then you do have these 4-foot stabilizer straps here where the laces go through. So if you crank the laces down, it pulls the shoe in even more. So as far as the overall fit, like I mentioned, they are narrow, they do run short. There is no movement within this shoe here, but I just had a ton of pain in the forefoot. So as far as the fit goes on the Air Jordan 37 lows, for me, it's just not gonna work. So I'm gonna have to give these a 4 out of 10. I do think I am going to try a size 11 on in these, but I think they're just too narrow for my foot across the board. If I do get an 11 and they fit a lot better and I don't have any issues in the forefoot, I will update you guys. But as far as it goes right now, I cannot put these back on foot. I'm actually going to see if I can exchange these through Nike. I know they have a pretty good exchange program, so I might do an update video on the Air Jordan 37 lows where if I get a size 11 and it works for my foot, I will update you guys with that. So as far as the support goes, this shoe is very supportive. It's a great low top option, offering a ton of support in the Air Jordan 37 lows. So starting at the back of the shoe, you do have a very rigid internal heel counter, and then you do have these fuserans kind of running through the upper of the shoe. So that's kind of helping your foot on hard lateral cuts, staying on the footbed. And then you do have this TPU heel counter here where that Formula 23 is caged, but it does run up just a little bit past the Formula 23 on both sides. So again, as far as your foot being locked in the back of the shoe with that internal and almost external heel counter here, the Air Jordan 37 lows offer some great support at the back of the shoe. And then working your way down from that, your foot does sit ever so slightly within this midsole, and then this material here, the Leno Weave material, I know we all saw the player's shoe bust open on the Boston Celtics, but it is very strong. And then the Leno Weave here at the forefoot, it is kind of glued down here, so that's offering some great support as well. And then you do have these 2 stabilizer straps here on the medial and on the lateral side. So if you crank these laces down really tight right here, these straps are going to draw your foot in even more. The shoe isn't overly wide, but it kind of flares out here right on the lateral side, kind of like an outrigger. So it's going to prevent your foot from teetering over. So overall, the support features on the Air Jordan 37 lows are great. And not to mention that carbon fiber shank plate here. This shoe is decoupled as well. So as far as torsional support goes, you have some great forefoot flex, but the torsional support right at the midfoot is great because that carbon fiber shank plate is very rigid. So as far as the support goes on the Air Jordan 37 lows, I would have to give these a great 8.5 out of 10. So that's going to do it for today's performance review on the Air Jordan 37 lows. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have played in them yet, or if you plan on picking them up maybe once they go on sale, because they are pretty expensive, coming in at that 175 or 180 USD price tag. Again, the traction setup is great, a pretty good option for outdoors considering this rubber compound is pretty firm. The overall cushion setup I really enjoy in the forefoot. In the heel, it's a little bit of a different story. It does take some time to break in, but I think the Formula 23 is definitely a cool new offering from Jordan Brand. The support features and material are great in these as well. My only gripe with this shoe was the fit. It's just too narrow for my foot, and they actually run short in my opinion, because I got these in a size 10.5, the same as my regular Air Jordan 37s, and these just didn't work. But I will update you guys if I get a size 11 and they do fit a little bit better than this 10.5 here. So keep it locked to the channel for that. But as always, thanks for watching today's video. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would help the channel a ton. And keep it locked to the video at the end of the video, because there will be an on-court portion of me wearing the Air Jordan 37 lows. But as always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.